Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to Let's Learn About, the show where we teach you things you didn't need to know, but we're going to teach them to you anyway. That was very fast.
Hell yeah!
Flew through that. Oh my god.
Super speed, let's get on it.
Yeah. We're recording out of order at the moment. This is very strange.
Yes.
We don't usually do this, but I've basically put this whole schedule together to be able to fit in all of our recordings over the next few weeks.
Indubitably.
Because it's crazy. So I was going to say last week we did this, but we didn't.
No,
what was
technically, last week was the Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda Triangle.
Fact or fiction?
Yes.
And yeah, spoiler alert, even if you believe the fiction, it's very hard to not accept the fact.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to crush anyone's dreams. If you like speculating about it, then carry on, but maybe
if you are the Ryans of the world, sorry.
I just crushed your dreams with science.
Speaking of the Ryans and the Shanes, obviously,
yeah.
For anyone who watches it, I already had Bethan message me last night because I put something up on my Instagram. She messaged me going like,
yeah.
Yeah, of course, this week was the final episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved. So obviously the boys are they've moved on to the Watcher channel, which I will be swiftly moving on to.
Hey, no.
But the official BuzzFeed Unsolved, as we know and love it, had its final episodes this week, and Charlotte's being attacked by a cat. For anyone.
Sorry.
It's sometimes I wish that our episodes we record, like, you know, we were able to put up the video, because like bits like this where Charlotte's like listening, but she's trying to save her headphones from a tiny black cat.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But yeah, so anyone else who is a Shaniac or a Boogara, it's a sad week. Yeah.
What have you done? Oh my god.
Monkey.
Stop. Oh no. Stay off the laptop. You can sit on my lap if you're going to behave.
Laptop.
If you're going to behave, you can sit on my lap.
She's not going to behave. What
but not on the laptop, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, apologies for this episode. There may be some minor intervals for cat interruption.
Yeah. If you're in the middle of talking, I'll just mute myself, deal with her, and then unmute myself
don't
again.
mute yourself. I want to hear.
Okay.
It's funny.
Cool. We'll just have to do this as do it as a guest episode. Be like, with Mika the cat.
With Mika the cat, yes. Oh, bless her cottons. Oh, that face. For anyone who hasn't realized, I'm a big cat fan, and I desperately want my own cat. And this weekend has just been an entire weekend of being surrounded by people with either pets or has recently acquired pets, and it's not helping my determination to not get a cat until the new year. At this rate, I will end up getting a cat tomorrow.
Maybe we'll have to start putting like the YouTube video, like we'll have to start uploading the video versions of these onto YouTube. And then I can like embed it on the show notes page just so you can see Mika the cat.
Baby girl. Yeah, she's really obsessed with Charlotte's headphones today. So I've got a very blurry photo of her attacking the headphones. Baby girl.
She also smells gross today. Don't know why.
What's she been rolling in? She rolled in.
She looks clean. She just smells gross.
Oh, bless.
It really is like having a baby.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Some of this audio may be cut.
Yeah. Right. If you sit there, then that's fine. Okay. I think we're good for now.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Just.
All I can see is the headphones twitching.
Oh, this is when I need wireless ones.
Yeah. Oh, sweet girl.
Right.
Okay.
Let's go.
Mika, sorry, we're still going to do the episode. This is not all about you. I really wish I'd chosen an episode on cats. That would have been amazing. Why was this not the week for the cat goddess episode?
Yeah. Okay, she's gone away. We're good.
Right. Okay. So my episode today. For anyone who is like hardcore, listen to us from the beginning of the show, you may know sort of one of our first episodes. I think it was actually my second episode 3, was on a certain Anne Bonny.
Yes.
Pirate Queen of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Thought, hey, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Since we've done a female pirate of history, and by a little while, I mean 2 years.
Yeah.
So I sort of had a quick shufty as to what other female pirates there were, and I found one. So I am resurrecting. Well, obviously this will go into awesome women of history.
Yes.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But I am resurrecting female pirates.
Yes.
With a particular one who was also given a queenly nickname as well, which I thought was very useful.
Yeah.
A certain someone called Sadie the Goat Farrell.
Okay.
Waterfront.
Nice.
So
what a name.
What a name, Sadie the Goat. So Sadie Farrell was, we're going to America for this episode. She was an American criminal, gang leader, and river pirate who garnered the name of Sadie the Goat for reasons that I will let you know shortly.
Right.
So Sadie Farrell was born and raised in the slums of New York's bloody Fourth Ward near the East River.
Yeah.
As a young girl, she hung around with street hustlers and thieves, and she sort of started getting into her groove in about 1896. She really started making a name for herself around about then. Now, she was very slight build, like there wasn't a huge amount to her, but she very quickly gained a reputation for being vicious and just really, really mean. And she mainly worked by, she did her trade, as it were, by the docks in the Fourth Ward, alongside a male companion who was essentially like her muscle, who's a backup, you know.
Right.
And what she would do is she would wait for drunk patrons to exit the bars along the river. And she would essentially run at them, head down, and headbutt them in the stomach like a goat.
What the hell?
Yeah, she would like, for anyone who can't see me, it's like head down, arms, and she would go straight for the stomach with the top of her head. Wind them and cause them to hit the deck, and then her and like if they weren't completely down, then her male muscle would then like bring a bat with them and smack them just to really hit the deck. And then they would rob them, including like not just money and valuables and stuff like that, but they would like take their shoes off, they take their pants off, they take the clothes literally off their back, and then just leave them unconscious in the street and then run off into the night. But that is how she gained the moniker Sadie the Goat, because she would goat headbutt her victim's stomach. So yeah, interesting way of doing things, but it worked for her. And you know, there was one particular evening where she, after she'd done her thing, she and her male companion would then go to a bar also on the East River called the Hole in the Wall. And it was on, no, it wasn't on the East River. It was actually on a street called Dover Street, which is about 2 blocks away from the East River.
Right.
And there was one particular night, she got very, 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 very drunk, and actually came across one of the bouncers at the Hole in the Wall. And now this was, again, and I thought this was really cool for the time. The bouncer was a lady, which is pretty cool for the 1800s. And her name was Gallus Mag. Fantastic name. And she was basically a very well-known, like formidable force in the New York City underground world. This woman was 6 foot tall.
Wow.
For a start. She was English, 6 foot tall, and she did her day job as a bouncer whilst carrying a pistol in one hand and a large club which was strapped to her wrist in the other.
Jeez.
Funnily enough, her name wasn't actually Gallus Mag. Her actual name was Margaret Perry. And
Mm,
between her and her husband, who was another thief called Jack Perry, they actually owned the hole in the wall. She just
right.
happened to also be the bouncer there.
Yeah.
And she actually received her name, the Gallus part of her name, because what she would do is she would hitch her skirt up with a set of galluses, which is another word for suspenders. So
Okay.
she would literally hitch her skirts up with a
Yeah.
set of suspenders. So, ease of movement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's how she got her nickname. Now, Gallus Mag was known for her no nonsense policies. So it was her bar, it was her pub. She
Yeah.
didn't take any shit. And she was very well known for her violent removals of unwelcome patrons within
Yeah.
her establishment. And I don't mean just like, I mean, she would bludgeon them. She would hit them with her bat.
Yeah.
And then if that didn't send them to the ground, she would then put them in a headlock to really get them unconscious.
Wow.
And then as she would drag them out of the bar, she would do it by putting their ear in between her teeth
Mm.
and essentially bite their ear off,
Oh my
throw them out
God.
street with now Sans ear. And she would take the ear and she would place it in a jug of alcohol that she kept behind the bar. Like she had it on display.
God.
She just had these jugs of ears on display behind her bar.
Yeah.
And she would, the display case was affectionately known as Gallus Mag's trophy case.
Wow.
To the point where the police were scared of this woman. Like she was described by local police forces as the most savage female they had ever encountered.
Jeez.
So she ruled the roost. This may have been her and her husband's bar, but it was her that they were scared of.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, Mag was from England,
Mm-hmm.
and Sadie had Irish heritage.
Right.
Which is always a good start.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, Sadie was in this bar and she was very, 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 very drunk. Which of course meant that Mag wasn't having any of her shit and was trying to remove Sadie from the premises. They don't know what was said to start the fight, but they reckon Sadie said something to wind Mag up.
Yeah.
And basically, Mag, who was literally twice the size of Sadie, hit her on the head with a bat.
Yeah.
And then Sadie started attacking Mags for hitting her with a bat. And they ended up having a massive brawling fight within this bar. These two women who are vastly different in size, just scrapping it out in this bar. And like, apparently Sadie really held her own, but Mag eventually managed to get her head in a headlock and did what Mag does and ripped her ear off with her teeth.
Oh my God.
So Mag, now with Sadie's ear in hand, throws Sadie out into the street, deposits Sadie's ear in its own alcohol jug. So she made a new jug especially and wrote on the side of the jug, Sadie the goat's ear, and put it on display in the display case.
God.
So Sadie at this point was very disgraced, she'd really been shown up and she's lost an ear, so it's very obvious what has happened here. So she actually ends up leaving the east side and the bloody Fourth Ward, and she ends up in the West Side Docks, which is actually around the other side of Manhattan.
Okay.
And while she was wandering around trying to figure out what she was going to do, she actually witnessed members of what was known at the time as the Charlton Street Gang, who were a very infamous gang at the time, but they weren't especially good.
Right.
Before Sadie got involved. So she spotted them unsuccessfully trying to board a small sloop, which is like a river ship, which was anchored in the middle of the North River, which is now known as the Hudson River.
Okay.
So they were so bad at trying to take over the ship that the crew actually just ended up beating them back onto the shore. And they properly were, they did not lose graciously, let's just say. Now Sadie, because she was the head operation of whatever she used to do on the east side, decided that the gang would fare better if they had a boss or someone at the helm that would tell them what to do.
Right.
So she went over to them, she helped sort of dress their wounds, and, you know, casually slipped into the conversation that wouldn't it be great if between her brains and their brawn, they could really turn this gig up a notch?
Yeah.
And they agreed, and she became the leader of the Charlton Street gang. And they ended up hijacking, successfully this time, a much larger vessel from the Hudson River.
Yeah.
And they made their own flag. They made a Jolly Roger flag. So with the skull and the crossbones and stuff like that, they stuck it on the mast of this sloop. And Captain Sadie, as she was now known, led the gang up and down the North River, the Harlem River, like up to Poughkeepsie and a little bit beyond there. And they would raid the villages all along the side of the rivers. So they would rob people's farmhouses. They would go up to the riverside mansions and steal from the rich. They didn't hit up any like ocean liners or any major, like, you know, you hear of pirates, it's usually ship versus ship. This was a very small vessel, so they weren't going after other ships on the Hudson. They very predominantly worked on poor farmhouses and rich mansions that just so happened to be up the sides of the river, and they stole a lot. They got really, really good at it. And Sadie actually got so into her river pirate routine that she actually began reading pirate history and pirate lore to the other members of the gang while they were on the ship.
Sorry, just to interrupt. Big Cat is here.
Cat break. Oh, it's a tickety tiger.
This is Monkey.
Oh, Monkey, hello.
Okay, a lot bigger than little Mika.
Oh, bless, but equally.
And there's Mika in the background.
Mate,
he's getting all tangled up.
Oh no. Monkey spree.
While he was here, I thought I'd introduce you to him too.
Oh, baby. Oh, you're so good.
This is definitely going to have to be uploaded somewhere so everyone can meet the cats.
Meet their cats.
Yeah.
Oh, bless them.
This is who I've been cat sitting this weekend. Okay, he's gone. I just thought to introduce you.
Thank you. I much appreciate.
Okay, continue.
Where was I? Pirate history, pirate lore. There we go. Oh yeah, she got so into her reading of like pirate history that she actually discovered that Julius Caesar was once kidnapped by pirates. And I tell you for what, that is definitely going to have to be an episode because I looked into it. Genuinely.
Especially because we've already covered him before.
Yeah,
we did like the Ides of March.
Yeah, did not know he was kidnapped at one point. So the one bloke you don't think would be kidnapped. But yeah, no, apparently pirates took him at one point. Wow. Interesting story. Not for this episode though. So upon reading this particular bit of pirate history, she decided it would be a really great idea if her and the gang also went on a kidnapping spree. Just off the back of that. And she even got so into pirate lore that she would make various members of her team walk the plank of their tiny sloop into the Hudson River. Yeah. Just because she could. Nice. And this went on for like months. Like they got really good at this game. They even had like stashing places all up and down the river that they would hide their booty, as it were, before they could then like dispose of what they had to, or then sell what they would have to get that cold hard cash. And between sort of like, because they were still a gang and stuff, and Sadie obviously had her contacts, they had like fences all up and down the north and east rivers. So they had like plenty of places that they could sell all this stuff that they took for money. And there was, they basically earned a hell of a lot of money in a very short space of time. Unfortunately, and quite rightly in my mind, a lot of the people who they stole from got very sick very quickly of their shit. Yeah. They were fed up, like the poor farmers and the rich people kind of all got together and they were like, we've had enough of this. Like they keep coming back and stealing our stuff. We've got to do something about this. Yeah. And it actually got to the point that some of their kidnapping attempts accidentally got turned into murder.
Oh God.
I assume because people tried to escape, or they
Yeah.
weren't very successful at the kidnapping, but they ended up actually killing a few people. And that was really like the straw that broke the camel's back. They were like,
Yeah.
no, we're not having any of this. So all of the upstate Hudson Valley residences ended up banding together and forming like a resistance against the Charleston Street gang and Captain Sadie. And farm folks got to the point where they would take like their equipment and rush the Charleston Street gang as they were trying to offboard their ship.
Yeah.
Like they got the police involved. So the New York Harbor police people would stop them from even coming on shore to be able to attempt to pillage anything.
Yeah.
Like soon it got to the point that the gang members were the ones that started getting killed because they were still trying to like, do this thing. And then all these residents and the police were like, no, you can't come on shore. No, because you end up doing something. So they ended up starting to get killed. Which actually led to Sadie abandoning her pirate ways.
Right.
She's like, all good things come to an end. Clearly this ain't happening anymore.
Yeah.
And what between her and what was left of the Charleston Street gang, they went back to the West Side docks. They got rid of the sloop, and they disbanded. And Sadie, not knowing where to turn, ended up going back to her original haunt at the Fourth Ward.
Yeah.
But by this point, because of all of her antics that she'd done throughout the past year, she was now hailed a returning hero by all her old compatriots. And that's where she actually gains the moniker Queen of the Waterfront. They came up with this name for her. So she returned in like a shower of glory and also a shower of money, because she still had all this money from what they managed to fence and steal. And what she ended up doing is she didn't even go back to her old head-butting ways, as it were. She actually ended up using the money that she stole and fenced and gained to open up her own gin mill. So she spent her days making gin.
Why not?
Exactly. But what ended up happening, unfortunately, is the murders and stuff weren't just subjected to the pirates and what they were doing up and down the Hudson. The East Side docks had also experienced a lot of murders in the time that she was away, including at the Hole in the Wall bar. It actually experienced 7 murders in 2 months.
Wow.
2 months. And what ended up happening is the New York police actually ended up shutting down the Hole in the Wall. So they had one last hurrah. They had one final send off, had to get rid of all the bar, drink the bar dry, lock in. And Sadie actually ended up coming back for that final night. And before they called last call, Sadie went up to Gallus Mag, and they ended up making up. They put their past behind them, and Mag, in like a gracious moment of, we've mended a fence here, retrieved Sadie's pickled ear from the jar and gave it back to Sadie.
Wow.
And Sadie wore it, her severed ear, in a locket around her neck for the rest of her life. And do you know what the most crazy part of this story is?
Yeah.
They don't even know if it's real.
What? No, I want to believe it is.
Yeah, apparently this, because I read all of this as well. Sorry for any spoilers, folks, but this is actually potentially a folk tale. Which I didn't realize until I finished research on this, and I happened to catch a glimpse in an article. Apparently, despite all of this, story and the in-depthness and, the fact that people really, really believe that Sadie the goat was real. Yeah. There is only one there's only one book that was ever written that ever mentions her. Oh. And she, unlike other pirates at the time, so like the Gallus Mag, real person, there's like photographic evidence of her. She was a genuine person. Yeah. And there was another lady called Hellcat Kate, who I also want to do a story on at some point, because she used to file her teeth into sharp fangs. Oh. Which is how she got the name Hellcat. Yeah. That's a really cool story. But yeah, there is only one book in which Sadie the Goat Farrell is ever mentioned. Oh. And it's in a book called The Gangs of New York, An Informal History of the Underworld, by a certain person called Herbert Ashbury in 1927. And for anyone who might recognize the title of that book, it is because they created a movie about it in 2002 called Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
Directed by Martin Scorsese.
Right. Yeah.
Has a certain Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio in it. It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Won Daniel Day-Lewis a load of awards as well.
Right.
But yeah, I got to the end of all of this and went, what do you mean it's not real?
No, it is real. It is real.
It is. But yeah, there is some conjecture as to whether Sadie the goat actually was a real life person, or whether she was based off someone, or that she's actually technically down as a folk tale because there is only one book that ever mentions her. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Yeah. Sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but it was too good a story to pass up. Like, I want her to be real. That is,
in the words of Bo Burnham, art is alive, nothing is real.
Exactly. I appreciate the fact that there's a Bo Burnham quote in this episode. I love that man. So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it would be nice to bring back some pirate tales, because I always find that the female pirate tales are fascinating, and how they get in and out of these gigs in many places. So if you guys would like to hear more tales of female pirates throughout history, if you want me to bring this back as like a thing, or even Charlotte, if you find someone, bring this back as a thing in general, let us know. We are on social media, Learn About Pod on Instagram and Twitter. You can give us a shout on there. Or we also have a email address, learnaboutpod@gmail.com, and you can also contact us through the form that is on the website.
Yes. As Ellie mentioned at the beginning, go and listen to the Anne Bonny episode if you haven't listened to that. And also, if you just love loads of stories about awesome women, we have a whole list of them on the website. If you go to learnaboutpod.com, go to the index, and there's a whole like awesome people of history category on there. We've covered so many great women now. Again, the woman that always seems to come to my mind is Julie Daubeny.
Yes.
I'm being hounded by a cat again.
Yes.
Because her because her story is just great. Yeah, we've covered so many badass women, and it's amazing.
It is pretty awesome.
So yeah, learnaboutpod.com is our website. And finally, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can go and do that. Patreon.com/learnaboutpod. Only £2 a month, and you can get early episodes, bonus episodes, a handwritten postcard sent to you in the post, random updates and things that we'll post over on there. Tangent Tuesday, where we'll share sort of our stats and anything that we've got coming up, and any sort of recommendations that we have, so things that we've been watching or eating in the case of the latest one that will be going up on Tuesday. Also our Tangent Tuesday that will be going up tomorrow, when this episode goes out, is our first one with our guest. We've never had a guest on our Tangent Tuesday before, and that was with Klinos, who is a fellow patron. She joined us for our Tangent Tuesday, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, it would be really cool if you want to go and join over there. We love having this little community of people over there, and we'd love to get more of you involved. If any of you want to do things like being a guest on our Tangent Tuesday episodes,
hell yeah,
then yeah, we'd love that. We love talking to you all. It's so much fun. So yeah, patreon.com/learnaboutpod, £2 a month. You'll also get a shout out in every episode, which will be coming at the end of this episode.
Indeed.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Definitely love a good story, whether it's true or not. Next week will be my last episode before we start doing some Christmas episodes.
Oh god, yeah. No, that's the thing. We should have said at the top of this. This is my last episode before we hit Christmas episodes.
Yeah. Again, we have the lovely Klinos just recorded a guest episode with us, when that will be the very first Christmas episode that we do in December. Will be a Christmas mystery. that
without
Leos
spoiling
has
too
done for
much.
us. Yeah. So look out for that coming soon. Lots coming up in the next couple of weeks. Very exciting. All of our patrons will know about all of this already. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.